All right, Kathys, we are back. It was a long break, long weekend, but we are back and have an incredible episode. We first talk about American exceptionalism.
Yeah, rare. People say those words.
Rare, especially for Anand.
No,
especially for the woke. It's very hard for the woke.
I said that on the podcast with Drama, which you weren't on, that I'd wear the American flag hat all day.
All right. And then we talk about record travel. Americans cannot spend enough money.
No.
It's unlimited.
Too much money.
We talk about Elon Musk and what he's up to at Twitter and some of the new competition on Twitter that they're going to start facing this week. So we talk about that. Check it out. Entertainment companies' profits have fell over 90% in the last decade. Crazy. Then we have some shout outs. We got winners, losers, content. And we have a really great question about from a Kathy about one of our friends' companies.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's get into it.
Let's go.
Cash.
Ladies and gentlemen, group chat.
Cash.
It's $1 trillion. Hot.
All right, Kathys, we are back. We had a long break. It was a long weekend. We're out here celebrating America. America first.
The greatest country in the history of civilization.
Yeah.
The greatest social experiment in the history of civilization.
Yeah. Too much diversity.
No, it worked.
Okay.
That's the point. So, I think it's good to reflect in what we think is the most divisive we've ever been in the country, especially if you look at social media and watch cable news. You would think the country is like in shambles, and people from the outside looking in would love to believe that. And I think it's the exact opposite.
I think it's the divisiveness is literally only on social media.
Mm-hmm.
I think in person, 95% of society is functioning pretty normally.
Yeah, I think our country has plenty of challenges, and they're all very important. But it's still the greatest place in the world to come with nothing and provide for your family. And I saw a lot of people like our friend Nahal, who's an extremely successful venture capitalist and founder, posted like this beautiful note on Twitter.
His dad.
Yeah.
Or his parents. Yeah.
His parents, how they came with nothing. And, they were able to provide for him to be able to be super successful now. And I think it's an incredible story, but it's very relatable because we have so many friends, including our own parents, that came with nothing.
All of our parents' friends.
All of our parents' friends came with nothing. And that's not possible in other countries.
It's zero.
Yeah, zero.
Okay,
there's unicorns in certain countries.
Yeah.
Like you can move to Nigeria. There's Indians that have become successful in Nigeria.
To be fair, there's Indians who have immigrated everywhere in the world and been successful. I don't know about all the other groups.
But anyways, you can come here and you can make it.
Yeah, anyone can make it.
I mean, some of our most successful friends didn't go to college.
Barely graduated high school.
Didn't go to college. Went to a college that I don't even heard of.
Yeah.
And these are three of our close friends.
Yeah.
That are extremely successful, and that's unique to this country.
Yeah, I think what's interesting, there was a statistic showing how Gen Z are not as patriotic as previous generations. That is 100% social media's fault.
Yep.
Because you want to make it feel like it's so fucking bad here because you've never done anything, you've never been anywhere, you've never experienced anything, and you just have this weird feeling that we are falling apart because of social media, right? They'll tell you crime is at an all-time high. It's not. Nowhere near. Crime was way worse 40 years ago than it is today. There are so many important statistics where our country's in a better shape. Do we have problems? Of course. There are many things that we are still falling behind on and we could be better at. But for the amount of people that live in this country and the amount of opportunity there are, and it is a very much if you want it, you can get it society.
100%.
And so it is frustrating for people who don't want it and still believe they deserve it.
Yep.
Those people are fucked.
Yeah.
No, people are not going to be in a good situation.
Yeah, listeners to the pod who we both know, this is an inspiring story. I've told this to a lot of friends. he was 18 years old a year ago, so now he's probably 19. Listens to the pod, came in and had a conversation with us. I'll leave his name, anonymous, because I don't know if he wants the story out. He moved from Michigan to San Francisco and was just like, I don't want to go to college. I want to get into tech. You know what he did? He hung around Stanford's campus for like 6 months, just meeting people that were like computer science grads. And he hacked his way in to like meeting all these people in technology. Then he got into a hacker house in San Francisco, just meeting these people from Stanford. He's in YC's new batch. Yeah. YC is the Harvard of technology. Yes. And he's 19 years old. Yeah. You can't do that anywhere else.
No. The people don't realize like there's like a true class system in the rest of the world where if you are born poor, you're kind of fucked. Right? It's really hard to get out of that. If you're born rich, you're great. You'll always be rich. But like in America, you a poor person can become rich, a rich person can become poor.
Like the kid I'm talking about, like I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna be filthy rich. Yeah. He's gonna be extremely successful. He's probably gonna build 5 companies. Yeah. Be an investor and he's gonna crush it.
Yeah. But his was pure willpower, right? Like he wanted it more than the next person. And so he got it. Yeah. And he found his shortcut. And I think look, I think given how annoying social media is, because the thing that's weird is at this moment, like for example, like I was selling the USA hats, for fun for group chat. People associated that with MAGA.
Yeah, Drum and I talked about it, and I was very clear, like I'm very pro-America.
Yeah, the thing is like anything symbolizing the American flag is viewed MAGA now. What does that mean? Yeah. It's you at the end of the day, like, and I know this is like the statement that people always say, and I don't like to say it either, but like if you actually dislike the country, your community, and everything this city, the state, this country stands for, you should leave.
Yeah. I mean,
but I don't like to say that flippantly, saying like, oh, you should just leave. But like, if you actually think LA is a horrible place, then you shouldn't live in LA. You should live in another city. If you think America's a horrible place, you should leave.
I mean, just from our friend circle, LA has so many challenges right now. I don't have a personal friend that left. Do you?
I know.
Actually in the inner circle.
One of Haley's good friends left.
Okay.
Remember, that's one person. Yeah. And by the way, they are dying to come back. Mm-hmm. It was an experiment, and they're just
Austin at 117 degrees is very different.
Yeah, and they're just like not, they're missing their friends, their family. They're not from there. They're from LA. So yeah, look, I think, and everyone we know, maybe they moved to the West Side. Like that's like this. Yeah, they moved to the Palisades. I think that's where most of people who complained about living in West Hollywood, Central LA. Yeah. Those people were like, fine, I'm going to Brentwood.
Right. 5 miles down.
Yes. That was the big move that, families made. Yeah, I think they moved to the Valley. But I know a lot of people that moved to the Valley, to be fair.
So that's why it's overstated that, everyone's in Miami. Like, that was people from San Francisco. Yeah. It was no one from LA.
Yeah. Look, I think in general, everything was so overblown. Everything about COVID was overblown. Every which way. How we reacted to it, how much money we spent, how we locked down. Everything was just, we lost all sense of like middle
just
of the road, reason, common sense. Everything became political. Every decision that's made in the world is now political. Everything.
Yeah. No.
You eat Ben and Jerry's, you're woke.
Right.
You drink Bud Light, I don't even know what you are now.
I asked for a Bud Light at our friend's house yesterday.
Do they have it?
He gave me a Modelo.
What's so funny?
Well, it's funny because I don't want to get into the theatrics of the Bud Light situation, but we were all in the pool. And he was like, do you want a beer? And I was like, I want a Bud Light. And he started laughing and just handed me a Modelo.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. You ain't getting a Bud Light in my goddamn house.
But it's insane that it's become a laughing point. I was joking.
Yeah, I think I said it here. I knew the brand was toast. And people don't realize, everything is so crazy now. Like we were in Santa Barbara this weekend with our family for family reunion, and I don't know if you noticed at the coffee shop they sold liquor.
I didn't.
Bud Light was
I was
stacked.
hoping you didn't see that.
What are you talking about? The first thing I did, I said, "Oh, they have Bud Light. I'm gonna count how many cans are here. All of them.
It was full.
It was full.
The
No one took
the
one
other beers.
can.
I hate to acquiesce here, but yeah.
Because the problem is
I don't
like,
even know what the other brand was. It was that like black can.
yeah. Oh, it was
It's like
805.
805.
Like
Yeah.
the local, it's popular. Can't get your hands on 805. But yeah, look, like we said, we don't need to drag it on. America's an incredible place.
Yeah.
People are dying to immigrate here. We have blown it on immigration. Both presidents.
It's so stupid.
Both presidents have completely blown it on immigrations. I'm shocked that, like, if we know that the future of the defense of this country is information technology and our ability to be a leader in innovation, then why can't we be selective on immigration with people that have the talent and the education that can help the defense of this country?
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity that I've been kind of exploring the last 2 weeks, which you obviously know,
Yeah.
is purely because people can't get visas,
People in India.
which is crazy.
Yeah. Especially given that we know, I think politicians realize this. The next war is not going to be fought with missiles. It's being fought with information and technology.
Yeah, so, one of the topics we're going to cover is the U.S. is restricting who has access to like Microsoft Azure, AWS, and Amazon from China. We're already at war with China.
Yeah.
It's a different war.
Yeah.
It's a technology
Yeah,
war.
it's not going to be shot guns and
like
missiles.
people aren't dying on the front line,
Yeah.
but what they are doing is, and then there was a chips restriction last week. NVIDIA stock went down like 4 or 5% because Biden was saying we're going to start restricting who has access to NVIDIA chips.
That's actually a great idea. That's actually like,
I agree, and I think they're spending billions in Arizona to
Yeah.
build manufacturing
yeah,
chips for NVIDIA and all these people to bring it onshore. And that is, we are, like, no one wants to admit it. We are at war with China.
yeah. It's just a different
Today.
war.
It's just a different war. Don't put that on TikTok.
Yeah,
We need our clips to go viral.
yeah,
But, and how everyone's making these, like, both countries are making different moves. So China was restricting like metals
yeah.
that are needed for the chips that
Yeah.
the U.S. manufacturers
Yeah.
need. So the fact that, forget like China, because I don't think we'll ever have open visa like policy, but like India, just let those engineers in.
Yeah. You need
Why
it.
do you want the next Microsoft being built in India?
Yeah. So stupid.
So stupid.
You could literally, if you're being self-serving as America, you could drown India's talent pool in 1 year.
Yeah, because look, there's 1.4 billion, so even if like 1% are engineers,
Yeah.
like we need engineers.
Yeah.
Like there are no AI engineers
Yeah.
right now because AI just got hot in the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So now you're going to wait for the brilliant kid to go to Stanford today.
Go get his PhD.
4 years of undergrad, 4 years of master's. You're 8-9 years out
Yeah.
to getting the talent pool you need
Yeah.
when the talent pool already exists.
Yeah. Stupid.
So stupid.
Yeah. I think this is where like we have to make some pretty quick decisions from a policy standpoint on how we're going to handle immigration, onshoring of manufacturing of some of these things, and like really figure out, like, I think you got to give the power to the companies and you just got to make exceptions.
Yeah, so I'm curious politically, like, let's just think about it. It's not popular to go. So this 5 states determine who's the president, right? Ohio, Wisconsin, Michigan,
Yeah.
Florida, Pennsylvania,
Arizona.
Arizona, sure. 6 states. That's it.
Yeah.
Everything else spoken for.
Yeah.
For
It's
the
already,
most part.
we already know how they're going to vote.
So is it just not politically popular to be like, hey, we're letting these, or can the opponent say like, look at they're letting all these Indians in taking our jobs,
So I think,
even though those states don't even have the capacity to fill those jobs.
yeah. So I think the bigger problem is that if you say immigration,
It's a bad word.
because it means the southern border is being
So call
opened.
it talent acquisition.
Yeah. You have to change the word. Just say we are acquiring talent from all over the world.
And making America great.
Yeah, that is how we're going to take the all-stars. You got to do it in sports terms.
Yeah.
We're building an all-star team, and we need to take some all-star Indians, some all-star
And
Australians.
Egyptians.
Yeah,
you know,
every country has the talent.
talent.
Yeah, but I think you have to like position it very differently, because the problem the word immigration means the southern border, and
Yeah, they think the Honduras people are taking their jobs.
yeah, the gangs, and that's what which is not what's happening, but that's perception.
Yeah, and when we're actually, if you want to admit we're at war with China from a technology perspective, information perspective, it's wartime.
Yeah,
So we need to get the troops here.
yeah,
The troops are engineers.
yeah. Not jarheads.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
You don't need to do the Murph anymore.
Yeah.
Go code. Learn
Yeah.
some Python.
Yeah. I think you need politicians that appreciate the importance of it. And the problem is even the younger politicians
No, but I
don't
guess
get it.
in those 5 states that determine the presidency, it's not popular to talk about.
I don't think they know to talk about it. They don't know that that's what we should
No,
be
but it's
talking.
easy for the opposing. That's why Trump got elected. He went to those states and said, "You've been left behind. I'm going to get you back."
Yeah.
And then saying, "I'm also going to let 1,000 new Indian engineers and an Egyptian and Middle Eastern engineers," and isn't popular.
I don't know. I mean, Trump's hanging out with Modi.
Yeah,
Could be popular.
but
Yeah, we'll see. Speaking of July 4th, this is so we went on a family trip to Santa Barbara this weekend with our cousins, all our kids. The hotel was slammed.
Yep.
Not cheap by any means. I hadn't been to a hotel with my kids in a very long time.
Mhm.
I think I've only been with both kids once, and it was at a much cheaper property. Eating at a hotel is ungodly expensive.
Insane.
Insane. Like everything is so forget room service. Room service is literally the most expensive thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
I'm not a room service person in general. Like if I'm staying in a hotel, which I stay every other week, I've ordered 0 times in the last 5 years by myself. With the kids, we had to order breakfast one day, and I was like, "What?" Well, they got like pancakes and eggs. It was like $80. You're serious?
Yeah.
What's interesting is it looked like, what's funny was I was sitting at the pool early in the morning, and these 3 young guys were sitting in the pool also talking. And they were talking about how expensive everything was. The food, the drink. They were there for a wedding. I can't, everyone is complaining about it all the time.
Mhm.
Even the wealthiest people I know, when we go out to eat, they're like, "What?" Every single person is complaining about how much everything is. Inflation is a serious problem still.
Yep.
And I
Well,
think,
the problem is the demand isn't slowing.
yeah. So people are still,
People are complaining, but you still got the pancakes.
yeah, you still had the pancakes. I didn't order them the next day.
I paid for Dom's pancakes.
Yeah, that was the second dosing of pancakes, that guy. Same day. He had 2 pancakes.
He didn't even finish.
Yeah, exactly. It's a waste. So I think that the challenge is that there's still demand.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to get a hotel anywhere in Santa Barbara, Montecito, it was either sold out or couldn't get. All the restaurants are slammed. What is going on here? Is everyone rich? I say this every week, and
Yeah,
I just
I
cannot
think-
believe it.
Credit card bills are climbing. I don't know when it breaks. It should break, you would think. But what's even more frustrating is the hotel we were at, a very nice hotel, costs a shitload of money. I fought with the front desk for the first 8 hours of my stay.
Yeah, for a
So,
crib,
like,
right?
For a crib. And getting our bags to the right room. And the service wasn't great. I'm happy to out him. The service wasn't great. It took a manager. I could tell the story. So we have an 18-month-old and almost 5-year-old.
Yep.
Almost 5-year-old, we brought his own bed.
Yep.
Fine. He requires different needs. Our 18-month-old just requires a crib.
Yeah.
We request this 4 months in advance.
But they have pack in place.
If pack in place. But 18 months is the like kind of middle where you can't just throw them in the bed.
Yeah.
And a pack and play, they can climb out and crack their head.
Yeah.
So you need a crib. Yeah, it's 4 months in advance.
Yeah.
Get there, obviously no crib.
Yeah.
Multiple pack and plays. They just keep dropping off pack and plays.
Yeah.
So it's like, why did you say you have a crib?
Yeah.
Why didn't you just tell
So
us
we have pack and plays,
we
and
have
that's
pack and plays in it? You go find your own crib.
Yeah.
So then it was so funny. So the manager came out. We checked in at 11. It's now 3 or 4 p.m. Still can't get a crib. And I was like, where are all these cribs? There's 3 weddings here.
Yeah.
So those are all bachelors.
Yeah. There's no kids.
There was a handful of kids.
Yeah.
So like, do you not have cribs here? Like, was that a lie?
Yeah.
And he kept like giving me like the runaround. And I said, there's 3 families in line checking in. It's 3 p.m. I checked in at 11. You said it's a first come, first serve. So are those 3 families not going to have cribs? I see the ages of their kids. I have 2 kids. I know who needs a crib and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not hiding the cribs from you. And I was like, when you get reservations and someone requests a crib,
Just tell them no.
tell us no so we can make our own arrangements, or just go and acquire that many cribs for that stay.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't that hard.
Yeah.
I kept telling him, I was like, nothing you're saying is
By
logical.
the way, you could easily upcharge you $100 a day. You would have paid.
100%. Because we're already there.
Yeah.
You're already screwed.
Yeah.
You're not going to like go sleepless night after sleepless night.
Yeah. It's no point.
And then I kept going, and he realized everything he was saying makes no sense.
Yeah.
So he's like, if I can't find you a crib by 4 p.m., I will send someone to go buy you one.
Okay.
So at least solved it, but it took fucking unnecessary. And look, maybe it's because we have a podcast for the last 5 years, 800 episodes. I'm okay with having that dialogue.
Yeah.
Most people are just taking the L.
Yeah.
And their kid's not sleeping.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just the nature of today.
And I was very nice, didn't curse, didn't yell, didn't scream. I was
You're
just
a
like,
little tense at the end there. I caught the tail end.
yeah, at that point, I was like, but I didn't yell or scream, didn't raise my voice. I
Yeah.
was just in like
You
very
were like
direct.
antagonizing him at the end.
Yeah, I was like trying to prove to him nothing he's saying makes sense.
Yeah. So then what happened?
Got the crib.
Okay. Yeah.
They found one magically. They were hiding cribs.
Yeah, they were hiding cribs. Well, it's interesting because it's like, it goes down to like, when you think about effort put into things, like when you go, like even at the hotel, like, you know, every night at the same time, the whole family met and so the kids could eat dinner. And we just all just sat there and let them eat. 10, 12 people. They're like, "Hey, we need a few minutes." I get it, it's 10 people, whatever. I go stroll down. I haven't done anything. Well, hey, you know what's going on at the table? It goes, "Oh, we're working on it." And I'm like, what are you working on? And then 10 minutes later, I was like, nothing happened. So I was like, look, can we just sit right there? Can you put the tables together? Yeah, no problem. I think it's just like people, there's no urgency for anything in life anymore. Everyone is operating at their own speed. And I think at the end of the day, like when you think about it from a perspective of a business, like, you know, we were having this discussion internally about like, one of our topics was around a strategist for something. And I'm like, I don't know if we need strategy more. Do we just need execution? Like we just need to go and do it. And I think for some reason, there's more, we spend more time strategizing than we do doing things in society in general. Everyone wants to talk about it, think about it. It's like the crib. Just go fucking look. Open every door. There's got to be a crib somewhere. If you open every door and you told me I opened every door in this hotel, I cannot find a crib.
And if you have one annoying customer like me, go find the crib. Go down the street and get one.
Yeah. And I think you just got to have like, especially when you're the thing I have a problem with.
It's because of the price.
It's the price. You're charging a premium price. Look, if you were paying $30 a night for a room, like there's the hotel I stay in New York. It's so cheap. I don't even ask them for water.
It's like Spirit, right?
Yeah, it's
you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and I'm very comfortable with when I go on Southwest. I'm not sitting there like
asking for champagne.
No, I'm just like I'm happy I got a seat and I'm shutting the fuck up and I'm taking it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you charge a premium price, you have to deliver a premium experience.
And like what's even more frustrating is like you talk about the food and beverage. We have kids. We're not leaving the hotel.
Yeah,
you're gonna make it up on the back end.
Yeah.
even if you had to go out and spend a few $100s on a crib,
Yeah.
you're going to charge us. We have kids eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, drinks, poolside,
Yeah.
everything.
So, speaking to that, this is insane. TSA reported on Friday was a record number of screenings by TSA officer. The previous record was Thanksgiving 2019. And this is the highest number of passengers the agency has screened on record. 2.883 million people were screened on Friday.
Yeah. Jay Powell's got work to do.
I mean, you got to raise interest rates immediately. Nothing is breaking. I don't get it.
I saw a meme because obviously Michael Rubin throws this legendary 4th of July Hamptons party.
Yeah.
It's like Jay Powell's raising 75
As soon
bips
as you see
after
that party. I mean, same. I stopped by. I didn't stay for long, but I stopped by the H-Wood Bootsy Bellows party at Nobu Malibu. We know how much they charge for tables there.
Yeah.
It was all sold out. You couldn't get one.
So wild.
It's so expensive.
It's not reasonable at all. Shout out to Brian and John for getting it.
Yeah. It's a salary.
It's
It's a salary for somebody, what they're charging for a table. And you can't get it. You can physically could not get a table if you wanted one.
Yeah. It was slammed, I'm assuming.
Slammed. Insane.
How many people were outside? Or because the QR codes, it was easy, seamless?
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a lot of, people who didn't have the codes that were still trying to get in. It was busy, but not like it was orderly. It wasn't like...
It's funny. Shout out to H-Wood. We didn't go to the Nobu, but we went to dinner. And I think we finished up around like 10:30. There was probably 200 people outside of Bootsy Bellows, all in white. So they clearly came from the party.
Yeah, they kept the party going.
And then they went to Shore Bar too.
Yeah.
Because that I heard was insane.
Insane.
Like Bootsy, it was like as if it was opening night.
That crowded.
And we were just driving by. I was like, what the hell? And then I was like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Great weekend. Well, look, if you look at like anecdotally, like from what we're hearing, travel record. So that means airlines were slammed. Hotels are slammed. My guess is Airbnbs were slammed. I mean, everything was slammed. Travel is just completely out of control. Completely out of control.
Yeah.
And there's I don't see anything letting up. Even just talking to our cousins, how much travel they're all doing. Insane amount of travel still.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, I don't know where everyone's coming up with this money.
Yeah. It's going to be a very interesting next couple months.
And I don't see it slowing.
Yeah.
Like, I think New Year's will be insane. Thanksgiving will be insane. Christmas will be crazy.
Maybe just, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think, where would people be potentially cutting expenses so that they can have more money for travel? So we know like discretionary spending, like on apparel, furniture. You're not buying the house anymore. Like, could it be just like, hey, we were saving up for a home. Fuck it. Let's go to.
Well, I think a lot of people own homes that have appreciated so much that they're just leveraging themselves. That's the only explanation I can think of. They're like, oh, I'll take $100K and do vacations this year against my home. Because none of the prices are reasonable at any of these places.
For anything.
For anything.
I don't even know how people go out to eat. I ordered Domino's for the kids yesterday. I ordered a medium cheese thin crust and a small gluten-free because Haley wanted it. With tax and tip, guess how much it was?
So 2 pizzas.
2 pizzas.
$30.
$45.
Yeah.
That's insane for Domino's.
Yeah. No, I don't get it. And have you noticed, because I use Uber a lot, because the 2 kids monopolize the car, prices are up like 40, 50% in the last 6 months.
Yeah, Uber, like...
But in this year, I'm saying.
Yeah.
The same ride is up 40, 50%.
Well, yeah, like an Uber X, like I used to be able to go around my little bubble, $8, $9. now there's no chance. It's 15, 20.
Yeah, 50%. Everything's up.
Yeah. And it's hard to even get a car.
Yeah, I mean, geez. When does it break?
Part of me, like, people are jobs reports coming out Friday. Everyone thinks it's going to be blazing hot. Like, that job growth. Everyone's employed still.
Yeah.
Like, if you want a job, you can get one. Like, it's not like there's, I mean, when we, in Santa Barbara, one day for lunch, we got In-N-Out. They're paying $20 an hour. Advertising $20 an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you could live, you know, if you don't live in Santa Barbara, you live out in Goleta, you can live for $20 an hour.
Yeah, I mean, I think Goleta, which is not Montecito, which is where all like you can't find a place under $1 million.
Yeah.
In Goleta.
That's crazy.
The last anecdote from our Santa Barbara trip, we were at a steakhouse called Lucky's in Montecito.
Yeah.
On that one street where there's a lot of fun stuff. And I don't know how it came up, but I just said, fuck Harry and Meghan. They're losers.
Yeah.
And everyone got nervous because they probably frequent the restaurant and they all know them.
Yeah.
And the waiter just started dying laughing. And I said, they suck, don't they?
Yeah.
And he started smiling and laughing. So they don't even have a good reputation in their own neighborhood.
They're pretty unlikable.
Yeah.
They're pretty unlikable. I don't think we know the British don't like them.
I think the Americans have turned.
I think certain Americans love them still. His book is still one of the top selling books in the world.
Yeah. I mean, they got rid of their podcast, but
yeah, look, they're probably just like impossible to work with, which is why they're not putting out anything except a book here, a book there. But like,
I mean, if you become really the villain, the books will still sell. The next book will sell because people will want to hate it.
Yeah.
They want to read, but like, what is this dipshit saying?
Yeah. Crazy. It's unbelievable. Like,
I can't believe how quickly it turned.
Yeah.
They must be really unlikable in person for everyone to turn on them. And everyone's publicly talking about it. And it's people that have actually interacted with them, not like us who were just like kind of.
Yeah. I don't know. Is Oprah turn on him?
I'm sure she won't vouch for them. She doesn't seem like the person that's like a vengeful person.
Yeah.
Like, were they invited? I don't know how Montecito works, but I'm sure there was a hot 4th of July party there.
Yeah.
Were they invited this year?
Yeah, they're still you want them at your party. Yeah, people will be like, oh, no one cares about Paris Hilton. I'm like, nah, everyone cares about Paris Hilton. It's like, you know, people will say things just like, oh, they're nobodies. But like Harry and Meghan showing up to your event is still a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, they're famous as they get. So famous.
Yeah, you want them. I'm sure Michael Rubin invited them.
You think so?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, they probably were the only famous people that weren't at the party.
Yes. Speaking of, the other July 4th party that was the hot party was Michael Rubin, the founder of Fanatics, hosted his annual July 4th party, which is a spectacle on social media. And from what I'm told, when I was reading, it's only 350 people.
Yeah, I think if you look at events throughout the year, there's no event which had more famous people than that. Met Gala, Oscars, nothing.
Yeah. I would say Oscars. I mean, that's fair.
But no, from cultural standpoint.
Yeah.
So Little Baby's not getting invited to the Oscars. If you were to look at athletes, rappers, movie stars, you name
TikTok,
everyone was there. It was the D'Amelio family was there.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, Beyonce,
J-Lo, Ben Affleck, Little Baby, Little Dirk, James Harden, Tom Brady, Devin Booker, Kim Kardashian, Zach Bia DJing,
Winnie Harlow,
Kevin Hart on the mic,
Usher performing.
Yeah.
I mean, of the 350, 200 were A-listers?
Yeah. What's interesting is I was trying to think of
DJ Khaled,
how much he probably spends on this party. I was saying $5 to $10 million.
I think it's more because he has to be giving transportation for them. Justin Bieber, Hailey Bieber, like they don't go anywhere.
Yeah. No, they're out. These people are out.
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian.
But how do you get them all to show up?
Yeah.
Because
an invite's not good enough.
Invite's not good. They're like, oh, I could be in.
So I was thinking about it from Hey, so Michael Rubin, CEO of Fanatics,
Worth $11 billion.
worth $11 billion. The cost of the party is not the problem. He has the money. But why do it, right? And then I looked at, this is just this morning, the Twitter video had 31 million views. I'm sure there's 100 million. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you're thinking about, he's planning to go in public soon, it's kind of the best PR you can get.
Yeah.
Right? He basically has cornered the sports merchandising market.
And the celebrity market.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone can get that cast of celebrities
Yeah.
in a single
And
venue.
From everyone I've ever spoken to says he's an incredible human being. Like,
Yeah,
no
no
one
one
has
said-
bad things about him. He's not Harry and Meghan.
No.
Like, everyone says he's so nice. He's so generous. He's so personable. Kind of phenomenal. He's a unit. He's probably the most impressive billionaire.
Yeah, and he does.
Because most of the billionaires just like, when you see like Bezos on
Travis
the yacht.
Scott was there.
Yeah, when you see Bezos on the yacht with Lawrence Sanchez, it's a little cringe.
It's not relatable.
Well, it's also just even Zuck with the jujitsu or whatever he does
You're
these
saying it
days.
seems staged? I
Yeah.
actually think, look, I've never met him, but I've listened to him on many podcasts. The way he communicates
Who
is...
are you talking about?
Michael Rubin.
Okay.
The way he communicates is like so impressive because it's really low ego. So he said this a bunch on various different platforms, but he tells his story how like, why do you hang out with these celebrities? And he's like, well, I learned from them. And they're like, what do you mean? And he's like, Jay-Z, for example, he told him, they were like at dinner or whatever, and Jay-Z he asked him a question about his like hats, like sports merchandising hats. Like, what should I do? Where should I think? And Jay-Z goes, you have to start thinking about hats as part of someone's daily outfit, because hats are like part of your daily culture. I'm wearing a fucking snapback.
Yeah.
It's my day.
Yeah.
And he's like, once you start thinking about that, you'll design better hats. And Mike Rubin was like, I didn't have that insight.
Yeah.
And then I redesigned how we make hats and make it part of like your daily outfit rather than just wearing like a Dodger hat that you're wearing to the stadium.
Yeah.
And he tells these stories, same with Travis Scott. He's like, I learned from them. How much of that is true or not? The way he communicates it is like, oh, this is a likable guy.
Well, because if you're Travis Scott and this billionaire ask you for advice,
Mhm.
you feel good. Like, you feel, even as Travis Scott, be like, oh, I can actually offer this guy some insight. I can't do anything for him. Like, if I'm Travis Scott, like, what can I do for Michael Rubin? Nothing. But he's asking me for advice, and maybe I can give him some insight, and maybe he uses it, maybe he doesn't. But fuck, that humility of how you communicate is very,
it
very
has to be
important.
the reason they all come.
Yeah.
Because if he was not cool and nice,
No, yeah. It's obvious he's very likable, clearly, because these people can go
they
anywhere.
can go anywhere.
They could do whatever they want. They could go make money on July 4th.
Mm-hmm.
They could go host a party at the fucking Vegas and make $1 million.
Every single one of them could host a party in Vegas
and make $1 million.
Yeah.
$2 million.
Or in Miami. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super impressive because
Culturally, we've never seen a billionaire like this.
no, not the breadth of who he can
Oh, yeah,
attract.
because like Robert Kraft is there, plus
Bless little baby.
pretty fascinating.
I didn't see Meek Mill. Where was he?
He was there.
Was he?
Oh yeah, lots of pictures.
Okay.
You were nervous they cut him out?
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a Philly guy, so he's gonna keep him around. But yeah, it's very fascinating. All right, let's move on to what's happening on Twitter. Speaking of Twitter, this is a very big week for Twitter. Thread, the Meta competitor, is coming out,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's gun blazing, already firing on them because of how much data they're collecting. And they're not even launching in the EU because of all of the way they're collecting data. So that's one. So that's a big threat.
Yep.
Second, there's an app that I got. So my attorney, Randall Clark, was out here like a month ago. And he was like, I want you, I'm like, oh, what are you in town for? He's like, actually, one of our clients is also based in LA. I was gonna go meet him. I was like, oh, what does he do? He's like, he has this app called Spill. And they're two former Twitter employees that basically started a kind of a groundswell of launching this new Twitter competitor. It just launched. I think in the last month or two. I have to go check. I don't remember. It's the number one social media app in the world right now.
I haven't even heard of it.
And basically, their angle was, we live in a meme culture. We live in a fun and like, I believe both the founders are black. They basically like, Twitter was like, black Twitter is what made Twitter very culturally relevant. And basically, they felt like from a product standpoint, they weren't catering to the audience, right? So they basically built it for that community. And it's now number one app. And I think it's number 3 app in America, period. Number 1, Temu. Number 2, HBO's rebrand Max. And number 3 is Spill right now. These are really, really interesting because like Twitter's never really had competition.
Yep.
I don't think the Thread meta is a threat, personally. Like, I don't care what they do. I have no faith in that app at all.
Yeah,
Zero.
it's probably a blip.
Yeah.
Like they'll get a nice spike.
By the way, given that Meta is at like a 52-week high today and like a stone's throw from an all-time high, if I'm the board of Meta, shut this shit down. Stop with all these dumb experiments. Focus on your core. It's about to be $1 trillion company again.
Yeah.
You know, they basically got back all the things they got punished for. This Twitter competitor is not going to work. Right. I don't care what anyone tells you. Yep. I don't believe it. Spill could be a real threat. I just downloaded it today, so I'm going to play with it tonight. But Twitter has got its own challenges. Recently, they started with rate limits on how many tweets you can read. Is that because of bots?
No. So what they did was over the weekend, I think it was Saturday when they started it. So I had just gotten to Santa Barbara. So I was driving, so I didn't have my phone for 2 hours plus. And I go on Twitter and I'm like, I'm capped? Like, what's going on?
You like to doom scroll.
Yeah, I'm just like firing, right? Yeah. Like, I just want to go like through everything. So for pretty much 48 hours, he capped how many tweets you could read if you were an unverified user, which I am. I don't pay for the $8 a month. And then a verified user was like 6,000 tweets a day, unverified 600. So you can do... For me, I could do 600 tweets in five minutes. Yeah. Easy. And
what was he trying to test?
So this is what no one actually knows. So just talking to friends who like know this space, one of my friends was like, look, I think what he's doing was the servers were bombarded with bots.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fired all the engineers.
Yeah.
So it's tough to like
know what they're doing.
Right? And he basically used the 48 hours. This was his suspicion, to basically clean out all the bots. And then, it's like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
And then now you can use Twitter regularly like you could have on Friday.
Yeah.
And he made this whole thing scraping AI, and I'm calling bullshit on this.
Yeah.
And he thought he was doing like a civil like service, but if you really were doing the civil service, you would have kept it going.
Yeah.
So he did it for 48 hours. He got crushed for it. And then he probably just needed to clean up the bots so that the servers aren't bombarded and he could relaunch.
Yeah, I think to me it was a bot issue because I think if you limit the amount of tweets people can read, then the bots can't respond to fucking endless amounts.
Right.
Because the bots are so annoying on Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's funny is I saw someone post how they think Twitter will go bankrupt in the next 12 months. And, then fall into the hands of someone potentially.
The debtors.
The debtors. And potentially a better owner. The problem is Tesla's on fire. This guy's richer than ever.
Yeah.
So from an ego standpoint, forget it's a bad business. We can all accept
we all know it's a bad business.
Why the fuck would he let it go for $10-20 billion? The guy...
No, at this point, his ego is clearly high. You can tell by his tweets.
Yeah.
He likes to get in the cage with people that criticize him.
Literally, he wants to get in the cage. Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. So, I don't think he's giving up the business.
No, that's what I'm saying. And they just crushed the deliveries for Tesla over the weekend. China's back for them. They're price cutting everyone out of the EV market. Every charger network is now sitting on top of Tesla. He's kind of cornered EV in some capacity. Like it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar company in the coming years. What's it to him to lose 20, 30, 40, 50 billion dollars on Twitter? Nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
It's irrelevant.
It's just like if you're an investor in SpaceX and Boring Company and Neuralink, you'd be like, he's clearly taking mind share away to tweet he tweets all day.
Yeah.
And he tweets random people.
Yeah. He'll just be replying to some meme.
He'll reply to memes. He'll reply to like, one of those 10 Twitter threads explaining like a company. And he's like,
number 7's good. That means he sat and read all 10.
Yeah, there was someone who broke down the economics of Taylor Swift in a Twitter thread the way we talked about it. He goes, wow, this is impressive. So that means
he sat and read it and opened up the financials to read it.
Because he doesn't know what Taylor Swift's economics are.
No, but he's now interested. He's amazing. Amazing human. If he beats Mark Zuckerberg's ass.
Yeah, he has to beat him up.
Yeah.
Has there been any movement? It's been kind of quiet the last 3 days.
I don't know, I saw a picture with him with like some fighter guy.
Yeah.
Elon. He's training.
No, he's definitely training.
Yeah. He's not, he doesn't seem like a person that just, if he says something, he like you said, his ego's so big, he has to do it.
Yeah, he has to do it, and Zuck has to do it.
They have to do it. It's honestly, it's basically their legacies are on the line now.
Over a cage fight.
If you think about it, what is anyone going to remember? That you started Facebook? Facebook is not going to exist soon. The company will be Instagram, WhatsApp, but you created Facebook. Or you got your ass beat by Elon Musk.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, unless you die young, like a Steve Jobs, who's now like legend that everyone like mythology.
Yeah,
like Bill Gates is one of the greatest entrepreneurs of all time. He's hated.
His legacy's over. Everyone says he's releasing mosquitoes and malaria. Like it doesn't matter what he does.
The TikToks are crazy.
Yeah,
the Bill Gates TikToks.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah,
what people believe.
Yeah,
he's honestly created one of the greatest companies of all time.
Well, the largest company of all time.
And largest company at $3 trillion or whatever now. Mm-hmm. And he's actually changed philanthropy. He bullied billionaires and 100 billionaires to give away their money. And he's going to go down as a hated human.
Yeah. I would argue that if you were to poll people on social media, not in real life, he's probably the most hated person in America.
I would say it'd be like him and Trump.
Yeah.
Well, actually now Trump might be but it would be like,
oh, Trump is way more liked than Bill Gates. Both sides hate Bill Gates.
Yeah, which is wild.
Yeah. Like you ask a random person what they think about Bill Gates, they think Jeffrey Epstein,
snicker.
Jeffrey Epstein, vaccine chips, like
mosquitoes.
Buying up for farmland, mosquitoes. Not that he created Microsoft.
Not that he created Microsoft and he cured polio.
Yeah, never. They think he reintroduced malaria.
Yeah, I know. I've seen the TikToks. They're fucking wild. And these TikToks don't have 300 views. They have like hundreds of thousands, millions of views.
Millions. Anything Bill Gates gets you views, though.
Yeah.
Like if you could come up with a good conspiracy, his honestly, it really comes down. And what the thing is like,
can we clip a pro Bill Gates rant that we just did and see how it performs on TikTok?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get eviscerated. They're going to think we're dummies that we think Bill Gates. We should leave all of this in the clip too.
Yes.
TikTok people think Bill Gates is the worst person.
Yes.
And what's interesting is he's a smart guy, right? And he, like Elon Musk knows all that matters is a court of public opinion. That's it. And Elon Musk in youth culture fucking matters. Like youth culture love Elon Musk. Yeah. Sure, he's polarizing with adults, but Elon's like, oh yeah, all you people in San Francisco hate on me, but you're driving around my car, so fuck off. Like he knows he won that battle. Bill Gates clearly has, even Zuck clearly has made persona changes to be more liked.
Zuck definitely did. This jiu-jitsu stuff.
The jiu-jitsu, when he did the surfboard with the American flag, these are things he's thinking in his mind. He goes, how do I become more liked in America? Because that's ultimately what matters to them. Their egos. It's just not just money anymore. You have to be, it's the influence, the power. Mark Zuckerberg loves that everyone's talking about in a positive light. He turned his company around and beating people's asses. Mm-hmm. That's America. That's what we want to see. Bill Gates. There's no one that can get through this guy and be like, yo, chill on the vaccine talk. It's not resonating. You could still give all your money away to it. Do what you want, but why you gotta go on every stage? It's not it's not working. Like from a
Q rating.
Yeah, like you could still do all the work. You could still cure all the problems. Like, why do you have to talk about these things? And then
I mean, unfortunately, he's at a point where he needs to take a back seat.
Yeah. I actually think he's hurting his causes.
Right.
Because he's every time I see him, I'm like, Bill, what are you doing? Shut the fuck up. Like we believe you. There's some of us who actually know you're fighting the good fight. But the rest of society thinks you're a horrendous human being.
Yeah, the skepticism on social media, and that's where I'm curious if it translates to real life, is pretty wild.
Yeah.
On everything.
Yeah.
Everyone questions everything now, that nothing's real.
Well, I think COVID and Epstein are the two things where you could question basically everything about COVID because
Epstein was the worst thing to happen to society for many reasons. Obviously, for the obvious, like he did really bad shit, but it made everyone like this was like the most unimaginable thing to happen. This random guy coaxed all the richest and famous people from finance to technology, entertainment, everyone, presidents. And got him in an island and there's underage girls. You can't even write that script. No one would believe it.
No one would believe it.
And it was true.
Yeah. And I think what happened during COVID and the way people reacted to it also
because everyone was stuck at home. They're like, what happened with Epstein?
Yeah.
So everyone did the deep dive.
And then you start doing the deep dive on actual what happened with COVID and you came to your own conclusion. The COVID was the last time we took anything for face value again.
Yeah. I think
like because they told us it was
it's like 2-week lockdown or whatever,
and they said it was bats.
Yeah,
we forgot. We're just brushing over the fact that it was just like a bat.
No one talks about the bat.
Obviously, the poor bat. These bats were
got a bad rap.
Yeah, bat rap. All right, let's move on. All right, so one thing we always talk about here is streaming. The streaming market has been ultra competitive. The largest entertainment companies in the world have poured tens of billions of dollars over the last decade trying to keep up with Netflix. And it sounds like if you look at some of the problems with basically every entertainment company, it stems from bloated expenses around streaming. And none of them are making any money.
Yep.
So where does that leave us? What the hell happened?
So the profits at the biggest entertainment companies have fallen almost 90% over the last decade. So the companies, Paramount, Disney, Warner Brothers, and Netflix. If you look at what their profits were in 2013 to what their profits are today, and Netflix basically created this...
Broke the model, and their business isn't even that good.
No. And they made everyone chase that business.
Yeah.
The cable bundle's dead, and... I don't know what the out is. Now you have a writer's strike.
Yeah.
So you have like you
don't have any more money to pay them.
No, you don't. That's what I kept saying when the strike happened. I was like, this was the wrong time.
Yeah.
You should have done this in 2020.
Yeah.
When you had leverage.
Yeah.
And now you have every one of these streaming companies that's completely bloated. And Andrew Jassy, the CEO of Amazon, who's actually was the head of AWS, he apparently, it's reported in Bloomberg today, he's looking at Amazon Studios and he's like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah.
Why are we spending all this money?
How much was on Citadel?
$250 million.
Stupid. And by the way, like we could make the argument now. Does Amazon Prime and Apple TV make you want to use their products more? I don't think so.
I don't think so at all.
I think if you got rid of Amazon Prime Video.
I mean, let's be honest. It was Amazon Studios came under Jeff Bezos. He wanted to catch some hot parties.
Yeah.
He was like, I'll burn $20 billion. So he's at the hot Oscar party.
Yeah. But Jassy doesn't care.
Bay.
Yeah. For him, it was worth it. Cost him 30, 40 billion, but he got a new girl.
More because his divorce.
Yeah.
But it cost him 100 billion.
But I think the challenge is that now everyone's all in on it, right? So I think Amazon could easily cut it.
Yeah, I don't
you
think...
could wake up tomorrow...
Who's going to turn off their Prime because you don't have Amazon Studios.
Yeah, or you got to just charge for Prime Video. Maybe you charge $4.99.
Yeah.
It's free, right?
Yeah, if you have an Amazon Prime.
Okay, maybe you charge $4.99. And even
but you can buy movies too, but yes, their content. Yes.
Yeah, their original content. Or just get out of the original content business.
And just charge.
Yeah. It's just like, sure, we have this catalog. You can watch that shit for free. Everything else, we're going to charge you on from here on out. Because if Netflix isn't working from a financial model perspective, the only thing that Netflix has one lever left is raise prices.
That's it.
Okay, because the ad thing, you're not going to be valued like a tech company if you start serving cable TV ads.
Yeah.
They're going to trade one times revenue like the rest of them. And so Netflix can't go down this bucket saying, oh yeah, we're selling ads. That's worthless.
Yeah,
it's not worth anything.
All this stuff was created. I mean, Jay Powell kind of ruined this whole industry. Because in zero interest rates, you just raise cheap debt and you keep funding all these products.
Well,
and now that we're at 5 to 6% interest rates for the foreseeable future, none of these businesses make sense.
And I think maybe the real learnings are Netflix works great at a certain scale and a certain cost. There are people, it's not meant for everyone because the content is too expensive, right? Like, talk about inflation. 250 million. Who the fuck even watched Citadel besides Brian?
Yeah, no one.
Nobody.
I don't even know what it's about.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it because they spent $250 million and I feel like I owe that to them. But like,
for your free Prime
delivery. Like, all right, whatever. Why I watch this stupid show. But like, you have to I just don't understand the business model here at this point because Netflix has to raise prices in order for this business to make any money. And so at what price does Netflix actually get affected?
It was $300 million.
300 million.
I shaved 50 million off.
Who okayed that at Amazon?
Andrew Jassy probably had a heart attack when he saw
he was
that.
like, what? Let me see this show. If I was Andrew Jassy, I became CEO and I heard they were spending $300 million on a TV show and it's not the NFL.
Yeah.
I understand the Thursday night football.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah. It's great.
Great branding. You have 20 million users or viewers or whatever the number is, and you're the only option.
Yeah.
But 300 million for Citadel.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, Hollywood's in for a rude awakening between the economics just don't make sense anymore.
Yeah. Like all the budgets for all the shows are going to get cut in half.
Yes.
Right? Because like Amazon is going to be the first thing to fall, right? Like they'll just change their budget.
And it's going to trickle down. So
I don't know what Apple will do. Apple may see it as an opportunity and go all in.
I don't know. Tim Cook is fairly disciplined.
He has so much money. He has more cash than anybody.
He probably greenlit the morning show because he wanted to hang out with Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, that's a good show.
Great show. I liked it.
Yeah.
I don't watch many shows, but no, I think Hollywood's in for a rude awakening, and it's going to trickle down from the biggest stars to the directors, to the writers, to the actors, to the
caterers,
production caterers, the assistants, the cinematographers, audio people. It's such a massive economy, but like your business,
LA's run on this entire industry.
Your business doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like 90% falling off profits.
Yeah, I also think like. Yeah, I mean, because it's not the content, it's the business model. Because I was going to say, oh, maybe is the content worse or the content has changed.
Basically, Netflix broke the cable bundle, which was the greatest economic like
money-making
machine in Hollywood history.
Yeah.
And now there's no money.
Yeah. Well, luckily there's Apple and there's Amazon.
Well, Amazon seems, Jassy's chopping heads.
Yeah. If Amazon cuts, maybe Apple cuts then too.
They'll be like, Jassy might know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Why am I focused on this?
Yeah, maybe. That'd be interesting to see.
And I think it leads into our last topic that ESPN fired 20 on-air personalities separate from back office, which they've been firing like nonstop.
Yeah.
And, it's Keyshawn Johnson, Todd McShay, Jay Williams. Like, these are real names. Jalen Rose.
Yeah.
These are real names.
Yeah.
They didn't cut like no-name talent.
They went after pretty high-profile names.
All that were making multi-seven figures.
Yeah.
And similarly,
Yeah.
cable bundle doesn't make sense anymore.
So
ESPN's
So the question becomes is like, you're an on-air personality here. You're making this amount of income. You can't, where can you go?
you take a haircut and try to get a job at the Barstool or the Ringer or have your own podcast.
Yeah, but like, you would have to basically go out on your own and maybe offset it with like a radio gig or something where you can make
You can't recreate that money.
Yeah.
So like Max Kellerman was making $5 million a year apparently.
$5 million?
And he got laid off.
Yeah.
And he's a big name. Who's paying him $5 million?
No, nobody's paying him $5 million.
I mean, yeah, it's that's why when people say like, oh, everyone's knows the NBA is getting this next rights deal, and I've said this ad nauseum, they're not getting the next one.
Yeah.
Only the NFL is going to continue to get bigger and bigger live rights deals.
Yeah.
No one's watching any of these things.
No.
Who are they fired? They fired Jeff Van Gundy.
I also think there's a huge opening for other sports too now.
Yeah, now people love pickleball. People like lacrosse.
Soccer.
And, cricket's launching in America.
Yeah, finally.
IPO.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's also just getting fragmented.
Yes.
Where there's a lot, like I know so many people that have season tickets to LAFC.
Great experience.
Yeah.
And
so like so many people like love going to LAFC games because, okay, I can't get Lakers season tickets. I'm priced out.
Yeah.
And for what? To watch people sit on the bench?
Exactly. No one plays.
Yeah.
No one plays 60 of the 82 games.
Yeah. I mean, I would say college football and NFL, both untouchable.
SEC, college football, and the NFL.
I would say, college football ratings in general are off the charts still.
Yeah, they even fired one of the college game day guys, David Pollack.
Well, they gave that guy, Pat McAfee, like $100 million. So
did you see Stephen A. Smith's rant?
No, what did he say?
Because apparently everyone was like, why didn't he get cut? Because I think he makes 12 to 15 million a year.
Yeah.
So he called out the network and said, there's people on this network that make more than me. And I know he's referring to. It's the NFL league guys. Right?
Yeah.
They work 20 days a year.
Yeah.
And this guy's working 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
He's on TV all day.
Well, that's all they have now.
Yeah.
They have nobody else.
He's on TV all day, and he's just like, I had the number one rated show, and he's like listed all the stats.
Yeah.
And these guys who make more than me, why aren't you talking about them?
Because if you're in sports right now, you either got to go to an emerging category, but you will never get paid what you got, or you got to change your whole stick, go all in on NFL.
Dude, like if you think about,
you could have a fantasy football podcast and make more money than being on air.
How fragmented sports content is. You have Draymond Green has a top 5 sports podcast. You have JJ Redick has a podcast. Paul George has a podcast. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce have a podcast. Pat Beverly has a podcast. You can consume sports content anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not concentrated. So
yeah,
it's part of like the cable bundle's screwed. Like ESPN's screwed.
Yeah, they're screwed. I feel bad for the mouse. Mouse is a disaster.
Bob Iger, why'd he come back?
I think he saw Bob Iger's first order of business is
cost cutting. Second
is you got to come back. Clearly, he's not far away from getting Bud Lighted. They're pushing the edge on children's content, and you see families speaking out on it already. Like every single movie is pushing it a little bit further, and they're going to have to make a decision if they think that's best business. At the end of the day, all these people make decisions based on money. If they think pushing the edge on sexuality on children's movies is the right move and they can make more money doing it, they will do it.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to go back to the center there on the kid stuff. That's my belief. And I think they're getting backlash on every fucking movie they put out.
Yeah.
And Bob Iger's not a dumb guy. Go back to the middle and keep printing money. Because I think if you go too far, you're going to lose.
At one point, ESPN was 50% of their profits. Forget their movie releases. And this is a slowly dying business.
Yeah.
At one point, it's just going to be the NFL. Like, because the NBA doesn't rate anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're in a tough position.
Yeah.
But I think they'll do enough cost cutting to get it. This is not financial advice, a near-term stock bounce.
Yeah. All right. Are we going to do Kathy questions first or winners, losers, content?
Whatever you'd like.
All right, let's do this question. This is actually a really great first question. We'll just do this one. How is Revolve able to ship items so quickly? Also, how do e-com brands like Revolve work? Do they buy items at wholesale and mark up the price? It's from Lindsay. I will tell you, Revolve probably has the single best operation in e-commerce. It is equivalent to Amazon. You order something in the morning, it shit is shipped out in 2 hours. Like if I ever need anything the next day, free shipping, I will order from Revolve or Forward. There's nothing like it. They're literally as good as Amazon. I would say in the category they live in, they're by far the best. There's no one even close. They, unlike a lot of other e-commerce companies, most e-commerce companies historically spent all their money on marketing. Like they would go crazy on Facebook ads. They went crazy on packaging. They went and spent money at all these weird things that the customer doesn't give a shit about. Revolve and Forward have always been about like the best experience, whether it's returns or shipping products. It's just what they chose to prioritize because they knew that was important for their customer. The next question is, how do e-com brands like Revolve work? Do they buy items at wholesale? So every multi-brand retailer you see, Macy's, Costco, Revolve, PacSun, you name it. You could pick any one of these multi-brand, not mono-brand, multi-brand. Multi-brand retailers are buying products at wholesale. Wholesale, for example, in footwear is a 50% margin. So if you see a shoe listed at $100, they probably paid $50 for it. That's like footwear margins. On the apparel side, it's probably like 60% margin or 65% margin. So if it's something listed for 100, they probably paid 40. And the way to think about how much the brand probably made it for, brands usually average around 50% gross margin. Some of the best brands in the world average like 60, 70. So if you see something listed at $100 at retail, the retailer probably paid $40 for it. And the brand probably made it for $20.
Yeah.
That's a very conservative.
15 to 20 probably.
Yeah. And so depending on the size of the brand, I know brands that make stuff for 10 that sell for 40 that retail for 100 all day. I know plenty of brands who do that. But that's basically how you can think about the math, the basic math on that stuff. There's obviously freight and there's other chargebacks and a bunch of other costs that go into it when shipping, but that's your general math.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, winners, losers, content. Winner?
It was reported today, Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher / hitter for the Angels, modern day Babe Ruth. He makes $40 million a year outside of baseball in endorsements. 8x the next highest person in baseball, probably the most in the history.
Is he making that money in America?
All Japan.
All Japan. Because I don't see him on
our
any...
good friend Nez is his agent.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And Nez, says in Japan, he's literally the biggest thing on the planet.
Yeah, I believe it.
And if you watch an Angels game, which no one in America is doing.
Yeah.
But it's all ads in Japanese.
Even at the game.
At the game. So if you go to Angel Stadium, it's just Japanese writing.
It's really sad that American baseball has not. I mean, I sadly I don't watch him either. But I was reading about there was a great article. I don't know where it came out, GQ or whatever. And I mean, statistically, it's kind of like the greatest athlete ever, right?
Yeah. No, he's doing things we've never seen.
Yeah.
In the history of baseball. And so he's leading the league in home runs, I think.
How have they not capitalized on this? Why aren't we all watching? What is the miss here? Whose fault is it? Nike?
I think it's Major League Baseball's fault, for sure, that they don't encourage their players. They also have the second greatest player of all time, Mike Trout.
Yeah, the Angels.
The two greatest players of all time.
How do the Angels suck so bad?
They suck.
Who is their manager, their coach, their president, their owner? Fire them all.
We know a lot of people that have played in the pros in Major League Baseball. They all will tell you, before Ohtani, they told me Mike Trout is the greatest player of all time. Then this guy comes and they say he is the greatest player. So you're the two greatest players of all time. The team doesn't do well. Neither of them do media. I've heard, I know Ohtani doesn't want to talk to anyone. There's a reason why he could have gone to any team.
Angels were like, yeah, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, he wanted to be in the background.
Yeah,
if he went to the Dodgers, it would have been he would have been the face of the city.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit about the Angels. But his next contract, only the Dodgers, Yankees, and like one other team can
So
afford
he's
him.
gonna have to
He's gonna have to step
play the
up
game. Yeah.
because he's gonna make his next contract. From what I hear, is gonna be $500 million.
Man,
That's after-
I'm only gonna let Dominic play baseball.
Yeah, you know what's sad that baseball is like declining. It was like super fast. Is growing up, it was so fun to go as a family to Dodger games.
Yeah, so fun.
So fun.
That was if obviously we'd love to go to Laker games, but it wasn't
It
realistic.
wasn't affordable.
So, but going to a baseball game was fun.
Yes, you bring your glove as an 8-year-old
Yeah.
thinking you're catching a foul ball. You're obviously not, but
Yeah.
it's still
Yeah.
like the experience.
Yeah.
Eating the ice cream out of the hat.
Yeah. Oh, the whole thing is great. I still think it is for kids. I would assume.
I mean, yeah, it's way more affordable to take your family to a Dodger game than.
Angels game, Dodger games are very expensive. I look all the time.
Oh, really?
They're not cheap. Like you got to go find an oddball, day game on like a Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wednesday's the day game.
Yeah, so like those days are cheap. But if
Yeah.
you want to go on a Saturday evening, forget it. It's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's gonna make $1 billion and never have to do anything
Yeah. and
press wise.
by the way, he could be sitting here with us right now. I do not know what he looks like, except the fact that he'd just probably be a big guy.
Yeah, he's probably a really big guy, and our friend John Jay played with the Angels, and I asked him, I was like, "What's he like?" He's like, he fakes like he doesn't know English. He knows English.
Yeah. Insane. All right. I am going with the winner. There was going to be a topic, but we ran out of time. But it is America's booze economy.
Okay.
It's on fire.
Yep.
The number of breweries in the U.S. is now at over 9,200. Just 20 years ago, there was like 1,500. So breweries have just exploded. Total number of distilleries in the United States from 2001, which is somewhere in the under 50 to over 1,400. Everything around the economy of booze, so distilleries, breweries, consumption, completely on fire.
Is that the COVID bump that never slumped?
Yes, we picked up drinking and we said, you know what? This is something we could really get behind.
Because it's
Keep it
counter
going.
to what everything we were hearing.
No, that's
people.
this is similar to what how we started the conversation today. On July 4th, everyone hates America, this, that, all that shit. And then when you actually go out in the real world, it's not how people feel and act and talk and like, people are actually genuinely kind and, people are experiencing good things when they leave the house. Same thing with drinking. People are enjoying a nice cold Modelo when they get home.
Yeah. No, I mean, I went to a 4th of July barbecue. Everyone was drinking a beer.
Yeah, and look, I know it firsthand because my involvement with Lo Ciento, business on fire, and tequila is a crowded market, and Lo Ciento's found its angle, and business is booming, and so it just like I think the narrative in a small group of people, small group of like Gen Zers who are like anti-drinking, when they grow up and they actually have to face tough times in life, they're going to pick up a fucking drink.
Yeah.
That's just the reality.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that's overstated on social media. No one drinks. Everyone's on psychedelics. That's what if you open Twitter or Instagram,
Yeah,
you
that's
think
like-
everyone's on shrooms,
Yeah.
everyone's on acid, and no one's having cocktails.
I think that's very much happening in places like LA and places like San Francisco. Literally those two cities. When you go to New York City, bars are packed.
Yeah, I don't think Nashville alcohol consumption has declined.
My guess is Nashville alcohol consumption is up 100% in 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So that's my winner. Everyone wants to say booze is dead. It doesn't look like. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Obviously, we know the negative impact of alcohol.
Terrible.
It's terrible for you, but it's just the reality of the situation.
fun.
Yeah, it has a good time. Loser.
Higher education. So I don't want to litigate the affirmative action ruling because we're not Supreme Court lawyers and have a legal background. But
Yeah.
what I think is going to happen, and I thought the All In guys
Did they
actually
talk
did
about
an
it?
incredible job
Okay.
explaining it because they didn't try to litigate it from a Supreme Court standpoint and what's constitutional, what's unconstitutional. But what they did do is really paint the picture that if you're Harvard and you want to run it like a country club where you get to decide who gets in and who doesn't, then you have to stop taking federal funding.
Yeah.
So if all these universities that
how much federal funding? I have no idea. Like, give me
I don't
a
know
Harvard.
what the percentage is, but it's more than zero
Okay.
for all these universities, which means, and I forget if it was Chamath or Sachs or one of them, they all were kind of aligned. They were like, look, if the government is helping fund these universities, you don't get carte blanche on who gets to get in and who doesn't.
That's fair.
And if you want to take the federal funding away, run it like your country club. Run it like LACC or Bel Air. You get to decide who gets in and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And I also think legacy candidates, I think that's going to get litigated in the Supreme Court. And sports scholarships are now going to get litigated in Supreme Court. Meaning why, if you're a good baseball player, you get in over someone who's more academically qualified.
Yeah.
Because it could disrupt the NCAA. But the NCAA is like a mafia, so
that shit ain't never going to Supreme Court. Well, but okay, fine. You know who actually disrupts? If we go down that, basically, cool. Let's just give football all the scholarships and cancel all the rest because they're the only program that brings any money to the school.
Yeah, they're like 90% of the profit and revenue of every program.
Okay, so that to me, I don't think...
No, because the point is legacy and sports are similar.
Yeah.
You let the rich guy's dummy kid in because he's going to donate.
I'm okay with that.
And you let the star quarterback in because he's going to drive revenue.
Yeah.
So those two are one and the same. They're revenue generating.
Yeah.
Chamath said this, and he must know. He said it's $50 million to get into Stanford. It's $80 million to get into Harvard. He said that flippantly.
Okay. I think that's fair. That's a high price tag. That's not like Lori Loughlin went to jail for like $300,000 at USC.
But the point is, you got to stop the federal funding if you want to run your university that way. If you stop the federal funding, then you could be Harvard and say, I'm up for the highest bidder.
I want to know how much Harvard has. I know obviously UC systems do, and I don't know what USC gets in federal funding. I'm sure they get tax rebates.
Because they broke down of the Harvard admits last year, 43% of the white candidates were legacy candidates. 75% of this 43% would not qualify under the publicly released metrics of what a Harvard candidate scores.
Of the legacy candidates.
Of the legacy candidates.
Look, Kennedys and Bushes are going to get in. I'm okay with it. Like, someone in their family did something great. I'm okay if their kids get in.
You're going to keep getting rewarded?
Dude, it's just, you need that money.
You know what I loved is David Sachs, obviously a billionaire. He's like, I already told my kids, I'm not helping them get in college. You get into wherever you get in.
Yeah.
Honorable.
Yeah. I'm not down with that. That's not how the world works. You're competing with someone whose parents are going to pull every string.
Yeah, but his kids are going to be billionaires no matter what.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Whatever. Go to
go to a state school. Who cares?
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. The federal funding is a great point. So I'm curious. I want to see the numbers now.
Yeah.
Because then we can. I agree. If it's truly private, you should be able to do whatever you want.
If it's truly private and you're getting no tax benefit,
that's like all the country clubs get tax credit. I'm okay with the tax credit because we're not going to change country clubs.
No chance.
So why should we change like Harvard? We're not going to change Harvard.
Yeah, but
Harvard's
the tax
more
is different. They're not getting federal funding, LACC.
I mean, yeah, in their case, the tax credit is basically a federal fund.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I like that. My loser. I don't really have a loser. I was thinking about it. I've seen a lot of winners lately. I mean, I think to our point in the beginning of the conversation, I'm going to give another winner. I'm going to say America.
Great.
Especially given, you're seeing what's happening in France now. It's very similar to what happened in America a few years ago. And where an unarmed young immigrant was, I don't know the full details of the case, but, police related. And it caused like a series of riots and protest throughout the country. And, all intents and purposes, I think America's kind of bounced back and like we've made some progress, very little albeit, but we've made some progress. and we're still functioning as a country. Whereas I don't know what happens in France. Like, I don't know. Can you bounce back from that much divisiveness? And go and function normally.
There's a massive difference is the economy.
Yeah.
Their unemployment is, reasonably high.
Yeah.
U.S. is low.
Yeah.
When the country's functioning economically, you can bounce back.
Yeah.
The U.S. economy has been extremely resilient through COVID, post-COVID.
Yeah.
And it's just really simple. If you could put food on the table for your family, you kind of pay for a roof.
You kind of look the other way on things.
Or you're just generally happier.
Yeah.
And you don't feel the need to revolt.
Well, yeah. And I think that's what I think is a big problem that's happening in China right now is that they have an economic problem.
Yeah.
They're cutting interest rates. They cut interest rates last month.
Yeah.
They did not raise.
I think it's like 21% unemployment for the youth.
Yeah.
Which is staggering.
You do not want to make the youth in any country unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the ones that will actually revolt.
Yeah.
All right. Content.
Saw Indiana Jones last week. Harrison Ford.
Woke Indiana Jones.
Is it woke?
That's what someone said. It's woke.
It's not woke at all. It's great.
Okay.
Very entertaining. This guy's in his 80s.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Okay.
I know critics have had mixed reviews, but it's a fun movie. And it's great.
Okay. Content from me. We talked about it. I'm watching Swagger.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's great.
I'm almost done with the first season.
Wow.
I watched
You're
some.
way ahead of me.
I watched some on the treadmill yesterday.
O'Shea Jackson's a great actor.
Great actor. He's awesome. That's a really good show.
Yeah.
It's also just interesting, like youth sports is like, I'm so far removed from youth sports playing 25 years ago. It's just crazy. Like you forget like how integrated social media is into like everything,
Yeah, they do a good job
of like showing like,
and I actually think that's just a net negative because some of the top guys in AU from like 3-4 years ago that had all the followers, they all fanned out
really
in basketball.
I don't know. I mean, they're still young. They could still make it.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's weird. It's focus on the craft.
Yeah, agree with that. Yeah, look at Shohei. Does he even have Instagram?
Shohei doesn't talk to anyone.
Yeah,
he fakes he doesn't know English. That's how little he wants to talk to people.
All right, content. Well, that was it. Right?
That's it. Yeah,
that's it. Okay, shout outs. This is a great first shout out. The guy's name is Rich Guy. It's from Rich Guy. His actual name is Rich Guy. Like his name is.
Do we believe that?
Richard Guy. I've talked to him.
Okay.
Rich Guy. So he wants to give a shout out to himself.
Okay.
Rich Guy. Or he's giving a shout out to another rich guy. He just turned 35, traveling to LA from London for over a decade ago and visiting around 14 times since, finally making the jump across the pond and moving this summer to West Hollywood.
Wow.
You know how many people I've met from Europe, Australia that have moved to West Hollywood because of this podcast? It's insane. People come up to me all the time. I moved to LA because of you.
They want to be part of the bubble.
It's a great bubble.
Fun bubble.
I mean, if you're a rich guy, West Hollywood's a great place for you. After working in the creator space for many years, decided to pack up everything, get his visa sorted, and launch his own creator management company with a great friend of mine in Los Angeles. Listeners since day one, all the way from the short story Long Days, never miss an episode and always gain a ton of value from the pod. P.S. If any Cathys need any help in the subscription creator space, hit me up at RichGuyIWMC. Myself or the team would love to help. Much love to you all at GCP. Well, Rich Guy, we'll see you soon. See you this summer. The next is from Amit. He actually sent some Wolf branded underwear. I remember. Thank you. I appreciate that. I wanted to give a shout out to Michelle, to his wife. Happy birthday on July 3rd. She's been crushing it all year in a new career. She got a director role at the executive level while also being the best mom and an awesome wife. She's a passive Cathy and enjoys the pod when I have it on while we're driving. Happy birthday, Michelle. No small feat. Good for you. Any other shout outs? I think that's it.
All
right, Cathys.
Go America.
Go America. We will see you back here on Sunday. Bye-bye.